Hi YouTube, it's Megan Phillips from Homeschool 101, and I am hiding in my basement today. My film crew is outside painting a cardboard boat for a race this weekend, but the mailman just came and dropped off our second box from The Good and the Beautiful this week, and so I wanted to share it with you really quickly so you could see what was in our package and some of the new things that are available. This is going to be, and I'm going to turn my camera around in just a second so I can actually show all of these to you. This is the library series that The Good and Beautiful is producing. So these are a collection of books that The Good and the Beautiful is reprinting because they're either out of print or hard to find or very, very expensive. But it's good, high quality, classic literature that you're used to seeing from The Good and the Beautiful. So you don't have to worry about profanity or negative themes and all the things that you would expect from Good and the Beautiful books. They're reprinting these books that fit that category. There are currently 16 books that are available in the library. So if you go to the Good and the Beautiful website, up at the top there's a bunch of tabs. There's a new tab that says library. Click on that. That's where you're going to find all these books that I'm going to show you. There are 16 of them, starting with level 4 up. There will be younger levels available in the future. This is just kind of the first batch, the first run of them. So if you have younger kiddos like I do, don't despair. There will be younger levels coming up. But there's a few level 4s that my almost 9-year-old is super excited about. He already picked out his first books just from what he has been looking at with me. So there will be younger levels coming. There will also be Kindle versions and audio versions of most of them that will be available. So if that's something that your family utilizes, those things are coming as well. All of these books are very inexpensive. They start at $4.99 and go up. The more expensive ones are like $8.99 and $9.99 for paperback books. And then they are shipped just by weight, like everything typically is from Good and the Beautiful. So it's a really inexpensive way to add really good literature to your family's library. So I want to show the books to you. I'm not going to go super in depth with them, but I want you to see what they are and how they look and kind of how they're printed, just so you can see those things for yourself. If you are looking to purchase some of these books, get them today or tomorrow. Through June 12th of 2018, all of the library books are 10% off, and there's a code. I think it's just 10 is the code for that. I'll put it down in the description below and make sure you have the right code if you want to get a discount on these books. It's the only time I think that they're going to be discounted. So I'm really excited to show them to you. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can actually see the books. If you have questions, as always, leave them in the description below and I will make sure to answer them as quickly as I possibly can. So give me just a second. Okay guys, here are the books. This is 14 of them. I have 2 of them in my hand so I can show you a couple of things. All of these books are formatted kind of similarly, and my camera doesn't want to focus. There it is. So you can see level 4 at the top. So when you line these all up on your shelf for your family, you're going to see all of the different levels that are available. So it's easy for your kids to go through and grab them. And it also gives you this really nice continuous look for your bookshelf so that you can start to kind of create that library feel, which is going to be really high quality. And I'm super excited about having them kind of all displayed on our shelves for my kids to see. One thing to keep in mind, I know some people have been looking for younger level things. If your kids aren't old enough to read levels 6, 8, 9, whatever, keep in mind that reading out loud to your kids above grade level is really, really good for them. It helps to develop that vocabulary and their reading comprehension, and it's okay to read to your kids at a couple levels above what they would read if they chose to read a book on your own. So if you're like me and you have a 3rd grader, my 3rd grader has already picked this one, Over the Hills to Nugget. This is about a family that moves to Colorado during the gold rush, which my son is obsessed with gold rush-esque things. So he picked this one out just when I showed him really quick on the website all of the different choices. He will read this on his own. He can take this. He's actually almost done with his leveled reader from The Good and the Beautiful. So this will probably be his next book that he'll pick. And this is something that he can read on his own. But I can also go and grab, let me pick one. This was one that looked interesting. The Story of John Greenleaf Whittier, which you can see is a level 9. I can easily use this as a read aloud for them. That's going to help to develop those vocabulary skills and those critical thinking skills and listening skills. We can read this together as a family as a read aloud book, even though it's above his typical reading level. So I'm just going to show you a couple of these. That one is a level 9. His Indian Brother is one that my 8-year-old looked at as well. That's a level 6. So again, that would be a great read aloud book. Sorry, there's a glare. It's super sunny down here. But again, paperback, nice, heavy, thick paper. The covers are nice and thick. Sometimes you get paperback and it's like, oh my gosh, that's not going to last like 2 seconds, even with my kids who are kind of careful. Up from Slavery. This is the story of Booker T. Washington. That one, already just looking at it, brought up some good conversations with my kiddos. Lady Cake Farm. This one I think is a lower level, level 7. This will definitely be a read aloud because it looks really interesting and I think my kids will really like it. Zeke and the Fisher Cat. You can see previews of all of these, just like everything with Good and the Beautiful. There's tons of preview information out there if you want to actually look at one of these a little bit closer. This is A Touch of Magic. This has to do with Helen Keller, story of my life. Some of these are utilized in the curriculum, and those are labeled Abraham Lincoln. If it's used in some of the high school levels, you want to wait and have your kids read those when they get to that level in the lesson and not have them read them ahead of time, but you'll have them. Slave Boy in Judea. Race for the Prairie. Again, just a nice assortment of, you know, different time periods. On the website somewhere it says when all of the original publishing dates were of these. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a pretty wide span. Some of them have been updated for grammar and for language. Oh, can't reach. Just David. So again, just a super quick look at these. And if you want to know more, you can jump on the website. Into the Unknown. This is another one that my son had his eye on, that he's going to like probably as a read aloud, because obviously this one's going to be above his level. Dawn. And the last one here is Patterns on the Wall, which also looks really interesting. I know a lot of moms that are wanting to get these, even though they have younger kids, just as free reading for themselves. So this is the beginning. Let me see if I can show you kind of all of these together again. This is the beginning, the first 16 books in the series, or not in the series, but in the Good and the Beautiful library. So if you are looking to update your family's library and you want to have good, high quality literature that your kids can just grab, and you don't have to worry about the content or the language or the subject matter, this is the kind of stuff that you want. And ever since we found the Good and the Beautiful, we've really been weeding out some of our literature that we have in our house and replacing with books like this, replacing with the books from the history series, the science books. I've been buying almost all of those just so we can have them on our shelf. I'd rather my kids pick up a book about butterflies than a book about Peppa Pig. I probably can't say that out loud, but that's what I would rather have my kids reading. So we've really been trying to incorporate some of this literature. So I was super, super excited to see these and to share them with you. There's one more kind of glance at all 16 of them together. So these books are 10% off today and tomorrow if you get them on the website. And if you're ordering curriculum for next year, pick up a couple of these books to have on hand for your kiddos to grab when they need some free reading. As always, thanks so much for watching. Leave your comments and questions below in the description, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Happy homeschooling.